Do you ever feel like fear is holding you back from reaching your full potential? Today we'll embark on a journey to uncover that strength and transform your relationship with fear. We'll explore how yoga can help you unlock and embrace your inner courage. Together we'll move through a sequence designed to build resilience, strength, and confidence. You'll discover how to use your breath as a powerful tool to ground yourself and bring clarity to your mind, allowing you to face challenges with unwavering courage. And as we practice, I'll encourage you to listen to your body and honor your limits while pushing gently beyond them, helping you to cultivate a sense of bravery that extends beyond the mat. Roll out your mat and let's begin. Find a comfortable seated position with your spine tall, shoulders rolled down the back, and close your eyes. Option to rest your hands on your knees or bring your hands into the prana mudra by bringing the pinky and ring finger to touch with the thumb while extending the pointer and middle fingers. The prana mudra helps channel the flow of vital life force energy, known as prana. It activates dormant energy within the subtle body and helps to clear energetic blockages. Take a deep breath in through your nose, allowing your belly to expand fully. Exhale slowly through your mouth, letting go of any tension. Imagine roots growing from the base of your spine, reaching deep into the earth. Feel the strong, steady connection with the ground beneath you, providing support and stability. With each breath, sense yourself becoming more grounded and anchored. Now picture yourself standing in a vast open field. The sky above is clear and bright, symbolizing limitless possibilities. As you stand there, imagine a powerful light emerging from your heart, radiating warmth and strength. This light represents your inner courage, growing brighter and stronger with each breath. Affirm to yourself, I am open to change and new opportunities. I am constantly evolving and improving. I am free to create the life that I desire. Now visualize a shadowy figure representing your fears or doubts standing before you. But instead of avoiding or pushing it away, imagine yourself facing it with calm and determination. See yourself standing tall, unshaken, as the light from your heart illuminates the shadow. With each breath, the shadow begins to dissolve, replaced by a sense of empowerment and clarity. Feel the courage within you expanding, filling every part of your being. Embrace this feeling of strength and power, knowing that it is always available to you whenever you need it. Visualize yourself confidently stepping into your new life, facing challenges with unwavering bravery and self-assurance. When you're ready, open your eyes and let's begin. Interlace your fingers behind your back and pull them away to open up the heart and chest. Gently release, bring the hands in front of you, interlacing your fingers, reach them up above for a nice shoulder stretch. Now keeping the fingers interlaced, bring the hands behind your head, opening the elbows out wide, chest open. And on an exhale, bring the chin towards the chest, closing the elbows towards each other. Inhale, open the elbows, expand the chest. Exhale, bring the elbows together and expand through the back. Continue for a few rounds, going at your own pace, matching the breath with the movement. Now gently allow the hands to come down to the mat, Reach one arm up and over for a side stretch. Option to stay up on the hand or to come down to the forearm, spiraling the chest open towards the ceiling. And make sure to ground down through both hip bones. Option to keep your gaze down at the mat, straight ahead or up towards the ceiling. Return through neutral position, spine tall, and extend the other arm up and over, again either coming to the hand or forearm. Hips grounded and chest spiraling up towards the ceiling. Return through your comfortable seated position, reaching the arms up overhead. We'll gently twist to one side, bringing one hand to the outside of the opposite knee and one hand behind for support. And on the inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, we twist. Gently unwind from the twist, reach the arms up overhead, and we'll do the same thing on the other side, remembering on each inhale to find length in the spine, and on the exhale, deepening into the twist. Gently unwind from the twist, placing your hands on your knees, and on an inhale, open up the chest for a seated cow pose. Exhale, round the spine, tucking the chin towards the chest for a seated cat pose. Inhale, open for seated cow. Exhale, close for a seated cat. Continue at your own pace for a few more breaths. And now we'll move our body in some circles to get rid of any stagnant energy, get the juices flowing. So take the body in a circle in one direction. And let's switch directions, going the other way. Perhaps on the inhale, opening of the chest, and exhale, opening up the back. Return to stillness. Make your way to hands and knees for a tabletop position, stacking the shoulders over the wrists and the hips over the knees. From here, we'll go into some hip circles to keep that energy moving. Circle the hips in one direction. Inhaling as they go forward and around, exhaling as they go back and around. Make sure to relax and release the hip flexors as the hips go back. Don't try to hold anything. Now let's switch directions, continuing at your own pace. Now return to a tabletop position, readjusting if you need to make sure the shoulders are stacked over the wrists, hips over the knees. And now extend your right foot back behind you. Engage your quads, abs, and glutes to lift that leg up. Perhaps you stay here, or perhaps you extend your left arm out in front of you for a balancing table. Stretch and find length from your fingertips through your toes in order to maintain balance. And if you feel yourself losing balance, instead of collapsing, stretch. Stay here, or for an extra little challenge, bend the right knee, reach behind with the left arm to grab the right foot, push the right foot into the left hand, lift the chest for tiger pose. And again, if you find yourself losing balance, don't collapse, expand. Just like when we're facing fear, don't run away from it, lean into it and have courage to overcome it. Gently release and make your way back to a tabletop position. And now we'll repeat all that on the other side. Extend the left leg long behind you, engage your muscles to lift that left leg up, and option to extend the right arm in front of you for a balancing table. Again, find expansion and imagine a long line between your toes and the tips of your fingers. Be sure to keep your core engaged to avoid rounding the lower back and causing pain. Again, option to stay here or join me for tiger pose by bending the left knee and reaching the right arm around to grab the left foot and push that left foot into the right hand, lifting and opening up the chest for our tiger pose. Gently release and return to a tabletop position. Spread your fingers wide, grounding the palms into the mat, tuck the back toes, lift the hips up and back for a downward facing dog. Option to pedal out your feet, reaching one heel at a time towards the mat as you find length in the spine. On an inhale, look to the top of the mat. Exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. Make your way to a standing forward fold. We'll hang out here for a minute. Option to keep the legs straight or bend the knees, reaching the hands down towards the mat or perhaps clasping opposite elbow. Also option to create some movement here. Feeling a nice stretch in the hamstrings and across the back. Now bring your hands to your shins or quads, finding length in the spine as if you're looking into a pool of water for a halfway lift. Release back down to a standing forward fold. Inhale, bend your knees, power up through your legs and feet, reaching the arms up overhead in a standing position. Now clasp your opposite wrist with your hand and reach up and over for a side stretch. Return through neutral and we'll repeat on the other side. Make sure to keep a lift in the side to avoid collapsing. Return through standing and reach the arms up and bring them over for a slight back bend. Make sure to keep your chest lifted to avoid collapsing into the lower back. Neutralize the spine, bring the arms down through prayer position at the chest, and then arms by your side, mountain pose. While you're here in mountain pose, think about lifting and opening the chest, finding length in the spine and grounding down through all four corners of your feet. Now shift all of your weight over to the left leg and extend the right leg out in front of you as high as you can, arms by your sides or hands on the hips. Make sure to keep your head stacked over the standing leg, chest up to avoid tilting backwards. Maintaining that same upright posture, now bring the right leg behind you, hovering slightly above the mat. Option to stay here or hinge at the hips to bring the torso parallel with the mat, reaching the right leg up and back for Warrior 3. Option to swing the arms behind you, keep your hands on your hips or extend them out in front of you. Again, think about maintaining one long line from your fingertips through your toes. And if you start to waver or lose your balance, don't collapse, expand. Slowly lift the torso back up and we'll all step into a Warrior 1 position by bringing the right foot down to the mat, toes at a 45-degree angle, bending into the front knee with the front toes facing the front of the mat, both hips squared to the top of the mat. Perhaps think about pulling the left hip back while pushing the right hip forward to neutralize the hips. Ground down through both feet and bring your hands into prayer at your chest. Option to stay here, or if you really want to test your balance today, we'll head into a revolved extended side angle. Keeping the feet where they are, twist your body towards the left, hooking the right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. Push your hands together, push the right arm into the left thigh to lift the chest up towards the ceiling. Continue to ground down through all four corners of your feet for that stable base. Release the hands down to the mat to frame the front foot and step the left foot back to meet the right in a plank position. Option to bring the knees down to the mat. Inhale, shift the weight forward. Exhale, lower down to the belly. Inhale for baby cobra, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, bring the hips up and back for downward facing dog. On an inhale, look to the top of the mat. Exhale, make your way to the top of the mat into a standing forward fold. Inhale, hands to the calves or quads, finding length in the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, folding down to a standing forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, power up through the legs and feet to come to standing, reaching the arms up overhead. Clasp opposite wrist, reach up and over for a side stretch. Come through neutral, repeat on the other side, feeling a stretch in the other side body. Come through neutral, reach the arms up and over, finding a slight back bend. Reaching the chest up and lifting up out of the lower back. Return to neutral, bringing the hands through prayer at the chest and arms by your side, mountain pose. Ground down through your feet and shift all the weight over to your right leg, lifting the left leg up in front of you as much as you can while still keeping a lift in the chest and not tilting back. Now bring the left leg behind you, slightly elevated above the mat, really working the ankle, calf, and glutes to help stabilize you. Option to stay here or hinge forward into a Warrior 3 position. Ground down through that right foot, keeping a slight bend in the knee and making one long line from the fingertips through the toes. And if you're here challenging yourself today, way to go, you got this. And if you fall out of it, no worries, just get right back in and do it again. You're going to build strength every time you do. Just like strength, courage is built over time and with repetition. Lower the left foot down to the mat, coming to Warrior 1 position. Make sure to square the hips towards the front of the mat by pulling the right hip back and pushing the left hip forward. Bend into that front knee without allowing it to roll over the ankle. Keep your chest lifted and remember to ground down through your feet, perhaps spreading the toes to create a wider base. Bring your hands into prayer position at your heart. Stay here or challenge yourself today with the revolved extended side angle by hooking the left elbow to the outside of the right thigh, pushing that elbow into the thigh to revolve the chest up towards the ceiling. Gaze straight ahead, down at the mat, or up. You may be shaking, wobbling, you may fall out of the pose, but stay grounded and have courage. You got this. Wherever you are, bring both hands back down to the mat to frame the front foot. Step the right foot back to meet the left in plank. Inhale, shift the weight forward. Exhale, lower to your belly. Inhale, baby cobra, cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Option to come to child's pose for a quick rest. Now bring yourself into a plank position. Shoulders stacked over the wrists, creating one long line from your head to your heels, and keeping the core engaged to avoid dipping the hips and creating a curve in the lower back. Spread your fingers wide and create a firm base through the palms. Hold strong and steady. Now shift all of your weight over to the right arm and come to the outside edge of the right foot, bringing the left foot in front of you, knee bent, spiraling the chest up towards the ceiling and lifting the arm up for a modified side plank. Stay here or option to stack the left foot on top of the right foot for a full side plank. Engage your right obliques to pick up the hips. Make sure to keep the shoulders stacked over the wrist and keep the chest lifted. Final option to lift up the left leg. Come on, you got this. And finally, release, coming back through a plank position. We'll drop the knees down to the mat, knees out wide, big toes to touch, sinking the hips back for a child's pose. A nice opportunity here to roll out and release any pressure in the wrists. Now come through tabletop and find your way back to a plank position. Engage your quads, your glutes, your abs, your upper back, and hold steady and strong. Shift all of your weight over to the left hand, coming to the outside edge of the left foot, and step the right foot in front of you, knee bent, reach the right arm up, open up the chest for a modified side plank. You know the options, pick your poison, either stay here or stack the right foot on top of the left foot, or reach that right leg up towards the sky. Whatever is your challenge for today, be sure to engage your left obliques to lift the hips up. Avoid dipping the hips or collapsing the chest. Engage through all your muscles, have courage, you got this. I believe in you. And finally, return to a plank position, dropping the knees, opening the knees out wide, big toes to touch, sink the hips back for a child's pose, perhaps rolling out the wrists. I believe there's nothing better to test your courage than a difficult yoga pose. Not a lot of people are willing to try. You are doing so well. When you're ready, come to a tabletop position and make your way down to your belly. Stack one hand over the other to create a little pillow for your forehead to rest on. And gently rock your hips to release the lower back. Bend your right knee and reach the right arm around to grab the right foot and pull it in towards your glutes for a nice quad stretch. And now push your right foot into the right hand, lifting your chest up for a half bow pose. You can push down into the left forearm for a little extra support to lift the chest. Gently release the right foot back down to the mat, bringing both hands under your forehead, making a pillow and rocking the hips. Now bend your left knee and reach your left arm around to grab the left foot with your hand and pull the foot in towards your glutes for that quad stretch. Push the left foot into the left hand, lift the chest for another half bow pose on the other side. Push through the right forearm for more support. Gently release and lower your left leg back down to the mat, stacking your hands to make the pillow and rocking your hips. We'll do this 2 more times. Option to again do one side and then the other for half bow pose, or option to join me for a full bow pose with both legs. Bend both knees, reach around and grab the right foot with the right hand, the left foot with the left hand, pulling the feet in towards the glutes. Now push your feet into your hands, lifting up the chest for bow pose. Push your pelvis into the mat and make sure you're lifting your chest and taking pressure out of the lower back. Keep pushing your feet into your hands and see if you can lift your thighs off the mat. This pose forces us to really open up our heart and have the courage to be open and vulnerable. Gently release back down to the mat, lengthen out the legs, create your pillow, and let's rock the hips a little side to side to release any tension we're holding in the lower back. One more time, you got this. Either grab one leg or both legs, pulling the feet in towards your glutes for a little stretch before we push the feet into the hands, lift the chest up for bow pose. Can you lift or open just a little bit more this time? I don't know if you can hear the thunder in the background, but it's creating a very dramatic effect and I'm here for it. Open up your chest, open up your heart. Have courage, believe in yourself. And finally, gently release, extend the legs out long, create your little pillow for one last little hip shake. Take a little well-deserved rest here. When you're ready, make your way through a tabletop position and find a seat on the mat with the legs extended in front of you. Push through both palms to find length in the spine, melting the shoulders down the back. And keep the legs and feet active for staff pose. Now reach your arms up overhead and we'll twist to the right side, bringing the left hand to the outside of the right thigh, bringing the right hand behind for support. And on the inhale, finding length in the spine, exhale, deepening into the twist for a seated spinal twist. Gently release out of the twist, bringing the arms up over the head, and we'll repeat on the other side, bringing the right hand to the outside of the left thigh, left hand behind for support, finding length on the inhale and deepening into the twist on the exhale. We are neutralizing the spine after all the back bending we did today. Gently release from the twist, reaching the arms up overhead. Hinge at the hips, keeping a long spine, and eventually fold over, grabbing onto your calves, your ankles, your feet for a seated forward fold. Feeling a nice stretch in the hamstrings and across the back. Option to bend the knees. Gently release out of the stretch and make your way down to your back. Hug your knees into your chest and find any movement that feels good. Now you release your legs out long, arms by your side, preparing for Shavasana, final resting pose. And take a moment to reflect on your practice today. How do you feel? What courage have you gained? How can you take what you've gained on the mat today and bring it into your life? This is where I will leave you. If you enjoyed this practice, please give this video a thumbs up. And please leave a comment down below on how this practice felt for you today. I love to connect with you. Subscribe to my channel for more tips, tricks, yoga practices, and meditations to guide you on your celestial healing journey. Join us as we make our way through the zodiac seasons, focusing on different aspects of our lives, so that by the end of the astrological year, we will have made improvement on every area of our life and step into a more empowered version of ourselves. Thank you so much for sharing your precious time and energy with me today. I am truly grateful. Until next time, I love you so much. Namaste.